sound waves on my algorithms, penning some of the hottest lyrics on the track. Witness such a cataclysm. They say I suffer from some narcissism just because my father was a king and I'm a product of divine jism.
What's going on, everybody? This is completely unrelated to Hex and crypto. Completely. If there's one thing I can't stand, is a man who behaves like a child. A man-child. That's what you call a man-child. A man-child who refuses to be a parent to their own children. Not because they don't have the means. It has nothing to do with lack of resources. It's just for the simple fact of choosing not to be a parent, not to be present, not to be supportive, not to be a person to show by example, to protect, to love, to teach, to guide. That is one thing in life. See, I used to create content regarding these things for a reason, right? Then I found crypto and things have just been everything crypto since. But you know what? Sometimes I'm going to throw some of these things out here in the YouTube space, YouTube land, to talk about the real, some of these issues that happen in life. You know, this is not about child support, right? This is not about men who, don't get along with their kids' mothers. It's bigger. It's about your child, your children. I mean, I tell you, sometimes when I was young, I grew up, people used to say to me, never say never. Right? And I say that to say, because I'm about to say something that it doesn't matter, never say never. Because I'll never do this. I will never respect a man who consciously refuses to be present for their child. Ever. That is something that's tantamount to, well, there's levels. There's levels to the wickedness that exists in the world. There are definitely levels. But when you have people who prefer to acquire a car instead of buy food for their child or children, you lose all kinds of respect. You lose all kinds of respect. You're not a man. You're not a man. You don't know what it is to sacrifice. A man who just prefers to buy a car, to dress up in the finest garb, outfit, versus clothing their children, loving their kids, protecting their kids, feeding their kids, is not a man. Not by a long shot. I don't care what the circumstances are. Again, if the person is ready willing, ready, not even willing. The person is able, they have their faculties together, they're physically okay, there are no mental constraints or physical impairments impeding them from doing what they have to do, then handle your freaking business. Handle your business. And you know what? You know what's crazy? I know as my viewer and my audience member, you right now who are listening, the saddest part about it is you can relate to what I'm talking about. You can relate to what I'm talking about. Because even if you don't directly know someone, you've heard of someone or you've met someone, whether it's in your family, in your social life, whatever, who operates just like this. And this is not about anything racial. This transcends all nationalities, creed. This is just all about just the foolishness and immaturity that these so-called men exercise and exhibit. Poor character, bad character, shameful. And then we wonder how the next generation, the youth, these same children that have absentee fathers, we wonder why they grow at a deficit. They mature at a deficit. We wonder why there's so much dysfunction that takes place within every generation, absent the male role model, absent the male pillar. Sick of it. Sick of it. Sick of it. Life is not all about video games and getting high and living off of somebody else to pay your way. Life is not a joke. Every day is not a freaking Saturday for real men. We grab the bull by the horns and we hustle every day to find a way to boss up and to provide for those who we love and protect and care about. It's disgusting. All these so-called men, they're just males. That's it. They're not men. There's a difference. Anatomically, they're just male because they have the equipment that should suggest that. That's it. There's nothing more behind that. And there's so many of them running around here. Keep your eyes open and don't be like that. Because one thing that also happens, children, they don't forget. They don't forget. There's things that we remember when we were young that we would wish we'd never remember. We'd never, even witnessed or even experienced. Okay? And the sad thing about it too, the likelihood of these, young people experiencing hardship and trauma, if it goes untreated or unresolved or they don't know how to manage these things, the cycle continues. They continue the cycle of inflicting pain and harm. Because even when you're absent, you're making a statement. And the silence is maddening and deafening. It's crazy. It's crazy.
sound waves on my algorithms, penning some of the hottest lyrics on the track. Witness such a cataclysm. They say I suffer from some narcissism just because my father was a king and I'm a product of divine jism.